Hey, hey, hey! I believe that Fukurodani are going to win the Spring Nationals in Haikyuu. I hope that after watching this video you will agree with me. I will now state the main points as to why I think this is the case. However, before I begin, a spoiler warning is abound. Spoilers will be from the end of Season 3 all the way up until the current chapter of the manga, so be warned. So without further ado, here are the main arguments. Point 1. Itachiyama are stated to be the favourites to win the entire thing. However, in the Tokyo qualification arc, Fukurodani took a set off them and were poised to take a second as well. Which means that at the very least, they are on the same level as the favourites to win the tournament. Point 2. Karasuno has for the most part completed all of the personal arcs for all the characters on their team. Which means that they are unlikely to win Nationals and are more likely to win it next year when the third years leave. The Owls are shown to be stronger than both the Cats and the Crows anytime they have met, and overwhelmingly so. In fact, as soon as Bokuto gets in his groove, they are shown to be completely unstoppable for both teams. Point 4. Unlike Shiratorizawa, which had Ushiwaka as the main focal point, having him score 70% of the points, Fukurodani isn't simply built around Bokuto, but Bokuto needs them and Fukurodani needs Bokuto to truly succeed, which makes them entirely codependent, but also an amazing team. Point 5. The ultimate underdog of the story. Whenever we see Bokuto in any interaction with any other character, he always mentions that he is top 5 ace and that he's not top 3 material. And Fukurodani have always faltered when it mattered the most, being unable to win and rarely ever coming above top 8. Point 6. Bokuto is shown as the nurturing agent for both Hinata and Tsukushima. For Hinata, he acts as the mentor and he's constantly looking out for his number one disciple, which makes me believe that they will face each other in the finals. And even though Bokuto will win, Hinata will be shown to be the little giant for the first time. Part 7. Every time we see Fukurodani in action, it is brought to our attention that whenever we see Bokuto, we should want him to win. Examples of this are Coach Ukai saying this, Coach Nakamata saying this, the Karasuno team saying this, and Kuro from Nakoma saying this thing as well. This one is the most important point to me personally, because it is setting up an expectation of where we want him to succeed, which means that in the Nationals we want him to win as well. Now that I have stated my main points, I can start talking about my theory more openly. I've been thinking about this a lot ever since the Battle at the Trash Heap rematch, which was personally my favourite match in the series, and it was everything I wanted from the arc that we were waiting for from the beginning of the series, ever since chapter 23 of the manga. In that match, I started thinking about what the narrative consequences would be for Karasuno losing to Nakoma. And even though Nakoma are my favourite team, I understand that Karasuno had to win that match. Ever since we saw the original battle at the Trash Heap where they've had the practice match against each other, and Nakoma beat them quite handily, we knew that a rematch at the Nationals would be inevitable, and we couldn't have Nakoma just win it again. Because then Karasuno's hopes at the Nationals would be dashed. And by Karasuno winning, Kenma got to experience his development fully, same as Tsukushima did in the match against Ushiwaka's team. Because he fulfilled his goal of wanting to play a match against Shoyo where there was an instant game over once you won or lost and it wasn't a practice match. And I think if he won it, there would have been a different kind of expectation for the narrative going forward, because it would have been a retread of what happened at the practice match, which obviously we didn't want anyway. But Nakoma is an important part of this puzzle, because without Nakoma's influence, we would not have an idea of how good Fukurodani actually are. And by having Fukurodani beat the Cats to advance to the Nationals, we got a glimpse of just how good they are. And this brings me back to my earlier point of Itachiyama losing a set to Fukurodani as well. Because Sakusa and by extension Itachiyama made up to be the strongest team of them all. And if Fukurodani were able to take the first set from them, it means that at the very least, Bokuto is close to Sakusa's level. And with Sakusa being the number one in Japan, and by showing the ability of Fukurodani to take the first set, we are explicitly told, that they are just as good. And because of the way the bracket has played out, only Karasuno can play Itachiyama before they reach the finals. Which, as long as Fukurodani beats Kiryu's team in the current match going on right now, they will be in the finals. Which makes it very likely that we will either see A. Karasuno versus Fukurodani finals, or B. Itachiyama versus Fukurodani finals. And, as Itachiyama has beat them once already, due to the nature of the manga and how it has played out so far, they will not beat them again. However, I understand that this point can also be used to say that Karasuno will win Fukurodani if they meet in the finals, because they have already lost to them once before. but they did not lose to them in an official match, only in a practice one. Which makes me believe that if they were to meet in the finals, Fukurodani would beat them. And I do believe that they will face each other in the finals out of the two options, because Karasuno is stated to be the most troublesome team for Fukurodani at the training camp, because they can't read and don't know what they will do. And it will be a nice way to show the development of each character on every team on their way to the finals. The most important point to me is point 7. Why would the author try to bring out so much love for Bokuto from within the universe itself? When he's playing, everyone is cheering, no matter if they are a friend or a foe, and whenever he scores a big point, the entire audience cheers, no matter what side they are supporting, which is the opposite of what has been happening in almost every other match up to this point. For example, when Karasuno was playing Shiro Torizawa, it was brought to our attention that the audience was definitely split. For example, whenever Hinata scored anything, Shiro Torizawa's audience wasn't cheering, and whenever Ushiwaka scored, it was definitely fear from the Karasuno side. But even while playing Nakoma, even the members of the family for the Nakoma players weren't able to stop cheering for Bokuto. Anyway, that's basically all I wanted to say. It's just something to think about, and if I'm wrong, then so be it, but I think it would be a much better ending to the arc than Karasuno winning. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Currently, Fukurodani is playing Kiryu's team, and last time I checked, Kiryu was still number 3 ace, not number 4 ace. This panel that I'm going to show right now is the cornerstone of my theory. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.